guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Fill Me In podcast where we dive deep into the world of aesthetics. I am Injector Jon.
And I'm Aesthetic Nurse Nicole.
So good talking with you guys again. It's been a whopping 1 to 2 weeks since you've heard our voices.
I'm pizza drunk. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God. Oh, can you tell it's like the busy season and I think our brains are fried at this point? I have no idea.
Literally 7:30 at night right now. We both had a full day of patience.
Full day of patience. And we're here for you guys to deliver what you want.
Yes.
All the
tea.
Goods, all the tea. Oh my God. But the last time you guys heard from us, I just want to let you know we had a few comments on our reels on Instagram that they were concerned for my health. And I had a smart TCA peel on my face, and I literally looked like a porcelain doll, you could peel the skin off.
Literally, you were crunching in certain spots. I know it's so funny. The one comment was like, "Jon, I love you, but is there something wrong with your skin?"
Your skin. And I'm like, I had a peel. It was to treat my pigmentation, and it really, really worked.
It was supposed to look like that.
And FYI, guys, the SkinCeuticals Smart TCA peel, absolutely incredible. Love, love, love. She burns a little bit when she's applied, but oh my God, I think it's one of my favorite peels secondary to the VI peel because you can actually see the pigment come to the surface. It was like the coolest thing ever.
Mm-hmm. I would think it's kind of like the ZO3 step that we have.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Like you can see the frosting and all of that. And it's not cake frosting, folks. It's that top layer. She's burning.
She's coming off.
She's coming off.
Your skin looks incredible.
Oh, thank you. It's finally
so good.
We're all good now.
Yeah. You're healed.
We're all healed.
You won't have to deal with any crazy comments this time. Hopefully.
I'm not jaundiced, everyone. Don't worry. Thank God.
He's okay.
All right. But what are we talking about this week, Nicole?
I wanted to highlight the wonderful little trip you took.
Okay.
Jon recently just got back from California. Well, and you went to AmSpa, so I'd love to talk about that too. I've had FOMO on all of the trips.
Which I miss you so much on AmSpa. I have no idea.
Next year.
I know.
I'm a little too pregnant for those listening to travel anywhere right now. But so Jon just got back from California. He was actually touring with AMI, which is Allergan Medical Institute. Yeah. So he got to see kind of the new training centers and kind of sit down with a lot of board members. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of go over maybe some little things you learned. I know you can't share all of it.
I know we can't share it all, but I can share some of it. It was an amazing honor. I was one of 21 or 22 injectors across the United States that were asked to go. It's called the AHCP community. I'm not really sure what that exactly means. Stands for, but basically it's asking a bunch of injectors across the United States to come to the campus, and we were able to meet with a lot of the higher ups of Allergan. So, the vice president of US Allergan was there. Wow. The vice president of engagement was there as well, Nicole Katz, and then Glenn Curran, who was the vice president. And then Micah Bergman, I believe, who's the global VP or president of the pipeline, things that are coming along the pipeline in Allergan.
With the exciting stuff.
Oh, it's so fun. They talked a lot they had representatives from Diamond Glow, from Skin Medica there, and also influencer sponsorships too, as well. They were there as well, which was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
But they were asking for our input. They basically wanted to know from, the key opinion leaders across the United States, things that are coming along the pipeline, how they wanted to ask us how we see it affecting our practice and how we would see assimilating it, bringing it into our practice, how we would use certain said products, that are coming along the pipeline in our practice on patients. And it was really, really cool. It was really
I feel
awesome.
like that's so important too, because I think brands too, going, seeing how we've had products launch in the past versus now, they've kind of learned things and gaining insight from us that actually use it on a day-to-day. Mm-hmm. They can learn so much, and they can implement that and make little changes that might make launches a little bit more successful or products a little bit more successful.
Yeah, and you always like when you're not a part of this, like what I just went to, you always wonder when a product comes out, you have questions about it. You have
Right.
questions about the packaging, the branding, what it looks like. Like why did they do that? Or,
Hmm.
maybe they should have corrected this or oh, it's pilling, things like that. And so they kind of really wanted our opinion on how these products are. Like they gave us some insight on what the branding looks like, wanted our input on that, which is really cool.
Hmm.
And also just touch based on what's coming along on the pipeline for Allergan. So one product I can kind of highlight,
Yeah, I was gonna say, give us a tea. Let us know.
and you Nicole know a little bit about this one as well because you're an AMI trainer, which is
Mhm.
Allergan Medical Institute trainer. Is the new bio-regenerative product that's coming as well. So it's called HArmonyCa, which is now available overseas in Latin America and Brazil, and I think in Europe as well.
Mhm.
Not yet in the States, but I believe it's coming in 2027. But it's going to be a CAHA product, so calcium hydroxyapatite mixed with a hyaluronic acid gel. So it's going to have biostimulatory products and mixed with hyaluronic acid gel. So it's going to give you that instant gratification, but also have long-term effects underneath, stimulating collagen, which is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that we're kind of lacking. And it's something that patients, they want something like Sculptura. They want something
They
that's
do.
going to benefit their collagen and benefit them in the long run.
Hmm.
But they also want the immediate result. When they don't get that immediate result, they're like, oh, there's a missing component. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and regenerative medicine is just
Hmm.
kind of taking over. And I think for a long time, we're like, okay, Allergan, when are you going to put out a regenerative product that's going to, or a biostimulatory product? Well, it's coming.
Yep. They're
And
working
it's,
on it.
yeah, and it's going to be really, really good. And the one thing I learned too, like, I mean, Allergan invests so much money in research, and obviously because they're backed by AbbVie,
Hmm.
I mean, the amount of money that goes into this research is incredible. Like they complete multiple studies, and sometimes they go through all these studies and then they find out there's something missing or there's an error, then they have to redo it. So,
Right.
and sometimes people go, "Oh, it's coming this date or this year," and then all of a sudden it's pushed, and they're like, "What the heck?" But
Yeah.
there's a
What
reason
happened?
why.
Yep.
There's a
Right.
reason why it's pushed, right? They want to make sure that this product is safe and efficacious for patients and with the least amount of adverse events.
Right. And
But
our
it's
FDA is definitely a lot stricter than overseas and
others.
stuff. So that's why we're one of the
Yeah.
last to typically get things, which honestly isn't a bad thing because it gives these other injectors that we get to learn from
Hmm.
like a couple of years to use it before it even comes to us. So we kind of already know the ins and the outs of the product where
Right.
if it came right off the shelves and to us we would be kind of
Hmm.
trialing it. It's already been trialed. People already know the best ways to use it and then we get to learn that.
Right. Yeah. And we were able to actually go into the lab, the Skin Medica lab, which
So
was cool,
cool.
and talk to the scientists that actually make the product.
Mhm.
Um, we also went into the filler lab and we played with Volux, Skin Vive, and the new bioregenerative product, Harmonica, as well, which was really
So
cool.
cool. Oh my gosh, I'm
Yeah.
so jealous.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that was great. A lot to come over the next
Mhm.
couple of years for Allergan and also just aesthetics in general.
Overall, yep. I'm very excited
Hmm.
to see like the changes in the regenerative options that
Hmm.
we have. I'm excited to see where we're going to be like 2 to 3
It's
years down the line.
it's so exciting, and it was cool to see how much testing they do. They have like obviously the scientists that are making like
Mhm.
the actual like ingredients, right? And then that gets delivered to another part of the Skin Medica lab, which is a skincare product, where they actually test it on tissue, and they
Wow. Yep.
have devices or machines that actually measure the product penetration into the skin, like how deep it's going into the skin, it reacting to the tissue. So basically, they
Mhm.
want to make sure before they actually use it on humans, like human subjects, like in their lab there, that it's safe on tissue,
Right.
right?
See
And
how it
then
integrates and all of that.
yeah, then
Mhm.
once it's safe, like it's said safe in the lab, then it's taken to the estheticians. So they have estheticians that actually they have a Visia. They have
Mhm.
like all of that huge, like the Vectra. There was
Oh
another.
yes, yep,
Have
yep.
you heard of the Vectra?
So yeah,
Yes.
when
Hmm.
I worked with the plastic surgeon, we had a Vectra. Yeah.
Did you
So
really?
yeah, Vectra it takes 3D images of your body, your
Hmm.
face, and then you can actually alter those images
Hmm.
and kind of show, but it also, you can zoom in and you can measure things and very
Yeah.
intricate photos.
Yeah. I feel like it's really good for like dimensions, contour, jawline. Like it's good for like filler.
Yeah.
And then the Viscia is really good for like the skin before and afters.
Yes. Yep.
Even filler too, like
Yeah.
Botox and all that, fine
Yeah.
lines, wrinkles, all of that. But it was really cool to then how it goes from the lab then into real life. And they actually test, you know, whether it's their chemical peels, the aluminized peels, like stuff like that with Skinmedica, then like the said, products like TNS Advanced Plus, Aha Baha, like all of that stuff they tested on the patients. And then they, make really nice before and afters using the Viscia or Vector or whatever. And then once it's passed through there, then it goes to the public,
Right.
which
And I
is really
think
cool.
this is where the importance is. Patients, I think, ask a lot of times, what's the difference between over the counter versus medical grade? And
Oh,
this right here is the difference with a medical grade skincare. Yes.
I love it.
They
Yeah.
have the funding, they run the tests, they have the proof, they do the studies. And yeah, it can take years for products to hit the shelves, but when it does, it has that research behind it.
hmm Yeah. It's
And
really fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah. And, this whole campus engagement that they had with us, like it was just so fun to be around like minded individuals that
Mhm.
you can learn from. And it was really cool. I would say out of the 21, 22 people that were there, 18 or 19, 18 of us, I think, were business owners,
Wow. Yep.
which are cool. So we
Yeah.
were able to share a lot of what each of us are doing,
Yeah.
or if someone else is working for someone else and they're kind of like the leader of that practice, like, okay, like you own your own practice. How hard was it to leave where you
Mhm.
were? Is it financially feasible, or
Right.
is it, should I leave? Like,
Right. What
is
kind of
it
work
worth
goes
it?
into this? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cause
Yep.
it is a lot to be a business. It's
Mhm.
24/7,
Yep.
Um, but anyway, it was just really fun to be around like-minded individuals and learn from them. And you
Yeah.
always leave.
We say it all the time, like community over competition. It's so
Yeah.
important to have that because you get to bounce ideas off of each other.
hmm
You can't beat that.
I know, it's so true. And that's partially why I love Allergan so much, is
Mhm.
because I feel like it just feels like home there.
Yeah.
And I know everybody, like, it really depends on who your rep is, right? Like your
Mhm,
BDM.
mhm.
There's some people that just don't get a good experience with, like, whether it's a MERS rep, a Galderma rep, or Allergan rep. And then that affects like the years to come for them. And then they end up choosing a product because of
A
that. And
wrap. Right.
and
Right.
you've heard that too. I've heard that.
Mhm.
But my experience with Allergan has been so just like
Yeah.
wholesome and loving, and they want to help you, they want to see you succeed, and they want to give you the tools to succeed. And
Absolutely.
the other cool thing about this adventure was the new AMI, Allergan Medical Institute training centers. And
Which is going to be amazing.
there's
Such a great
three.
idea.
Such an amazing idea.
Yeah.
And talk about investing, right? Like they're literally investing in new aspiring or
Mhm.
experienced injectors as well.
Yep.
This is out of their pocket to do. And it's absolutely incredible. I could go on and on. Like I'm gonna tell you more about this.
Yes.
There are things I'm like, oh, I'm going to train this center, but then there's components of it, Nicole, that I'm like, wow, like they
Yeah.
really like did not miss a beat.
Yeah. So Allergan has created these standalone centers.
hmm There's three:
California,
Atlanta,
Atlanta. Where's the third? Do you know?
there's Orange County, Atlanta, and then I think the other one's in California too.
There's two. So yeah, and there are these facilities that they're going to have AMI trainers like Jon and myself kind of be there for a week or two at a time, and then also have obviously people that are there all the time. But
hmm
they're going to basically allow practices to fly their injectors out, or injectors decide to come and take the program, but you're going to be able to go there for a week and get full education and training and hands-on and learn the products, learn the injectables, learn the techniques. Like it's going to be very, very cool and something that we haven't seen yet.
I know. And there are, I want to say 4 or 5 different programs. Yeah, there's
That they're
like
going to offer.
yeah, there's going to be like a foundational and evolving, like there's different titles, but it's based on your experience. There's going to be
Hmm.
one for more like new, like brand new green injectors, one for more experience. Then there's going to be like an actual like residency type training
Hmm.
where it's like multiple weeks of you doing it. There's also a course for business owners like that. They want,
Really? Ooh.
it's like a 2-day course, and it basically gives business owners the tools if they are really wanting more information on how to really help their practice succeed financially too, like increase their revenue, especially if they're going to give them the tools for that, which I think is
Right.
cool.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And I
There's
think
also a cadaver course there too, a cadaver. We were able to tour that as well, which there's so much that goes into like a cadaver room.
right.
Like the
Yep.
negative pressure, like the airflow has to come out, but it can't
Right.
go in. It's like, it's a whole thing.
And I do want to say, because I know that when I first found out about these training centers, I believe the cadaver courses are going to be a little bit more affordable than what you typically see
Yeah.
a lot of these other private courses going for, because we know it's like
It's
sometimes you're
expensive.
like, I can't spend $6,000 to do this 1-day cadaver course, you know? So I do believe these are going to be a little bit more on the affordable side, where you'll actually be able to feasibly say, okay, that I could spend,
Yeah.
you know, which is huge, especially for new injectors, because it's like you're just getting into it. You're trying to learn all you can, but you don't have all this money in your pocket to be spending on training and things like that. So I think it's going to be so beneficial.
So beneficial. And I think everybody should be doing a cadaver course
Oh yeah.
yearly. If you can't do it yearly, every other year at
Mm-hmm.
least, just to brush up on your skills and your anatomy, because
Yep.
we have to really truly understand like what is going on underneath where we're injecting.
Right.
We could, when we're looking at a patient, we can see them from the outside, not the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important to
It's, yeah,
know.
technically what we do is blind. We can't see your arteries underneath and everything underneath, you know? So we
Yeah.
rely on the cadaver trainings that we've done and the knowledge that we have, but everyone's anatomy is different. So it is good to do several cadaver courses, you know?
Hey guys, just popping in to remind you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Injector Jon and Aesthetic Nurse Nicole. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section.
Besides these training centers that Allergan has created, they've also chosen 8 training centers, like almost satellite places with offices that are already open throughout the United States.
Yep.
One of them being Face Aesthetic Institute, who I'm actually affiliated with now in Morristown. So they're in northern New Jersey. And they host their own trainings, but they're also Allergan affiliated. And they actually have a Botox course coming up on Monday, June 16th. It's going to be from 8:30 to 5:30. 8:30 in the morning to 5:30 p.m. They are the only ones on the East Coast that are going to be offering this program. So it's definitely, if you're a newer injector and you're really looking to kind of get the ins and outs of Botox and all of that, I think it's a great opportunity for you guys. And again, it's Allergan affiliated, so you're gaining the knowledge of the trainers, but also you're going to get so much more info on that, the Botox and the science behind it and all of that.
Yeah.
So June 16th, 8:30 to 5:30. Anybody that is interested, you can find them on Instagram. It's Face Aesthetic Institute. Again, it's Morristown, New Jersey.
Jen DeMaio, she's amazing. God,
Yes,
such a rock star.
No,
I mean,
seriously, I don't know how she does it.
yeah. Like anytime that like I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I call Nicole. And then Nicole makes me feel better because she's equally as busy. And then I look to see what Jen DeMaio's doing, or people that have like a Allergan certified training center. I'm like, wow, they're a business owner, an AMI trainer, and now they have this. And
now
then
they're doing this.
And she had to make a whole like educational portfolio of like and submit it to the state, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a whole thing.
Yeah. So all of their courses, because again, they're Allergan affiliated, so they have some Allergan associated courses, but they also have their own courses, which she had to make hours of curriculum for. You do get CEUs, a good amount of CEUs for going to these courses too.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, it really is incredible. They do have also an open house coming up on Thursday, May 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. And it's for anybody, like injectors or any patients even, but basically people interested in becoming an injector, learning more about injectables, their courses, their curriculum, and just kind of like, you know, meeting other injectors or meeting other people that might want to become an injector. So they'll have little like beverages and snacks and things like that, but it's a really good networking event. So that's also going to be Thursday, May 29th, 7 to 9 p.m. And again, we're in North Jersey. So they're like 20 minutes from my office, if anyone that listens knows where I am in Denville, but they're in Morristown. So it's like northern New Jersey.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think is really great about these AMI trainers, but training centers, and then also what Jen DeMaio is doing is that, you know, one thing we brought up, and actually not me, it was someone else who asked a really good question. She's like, are the AMI training centers going to work with Allergan accounts? So like people like Nicole, people like myself, or other businesses, because we're always looking for people that have some type of experience. I mean, sometimes if they don't have experience, but they're extremely passionate, that's great too. Like we'll bring
Right.
someone on, but it's an investment in us taking
Right.
on someone who's completely green,
Right.
and they have to do a shadowing of what we're doing. They have to learn. It takes a long time to even pick up a syringe. And anyone who's got even hands-on experience, if they go to Allergan Medical Institute, one of their training centers, and they do a certification, they're going to be more experienced, have just even the knowledge and the experience, hands-on experience, to then get hired at a practice. They're more marketable. So I just think what Allergan is doing by having these is so smart.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get people that are actually passionate and want to get a job. Anyone who gets an AMI certification, I think it's going to be like, okay, I want them.
Yeah.
They care.
Well, and that's so true, because it's like, I think too, a lot of these past train the trainer events that we've gone to, this is when they launch new areas for products, FDA approvals. We basically get retrained on the area and how we're going to implement it to other injectors and newer injectors. But I think over the past year or so, we've kind of been trying to find out a way to streamline training and really kind of make sure that the right information is getting out there. And, there's a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of misinformation on social media. And then there's people also that have only been injecting for a year or two that are offering training programs. And so I think this is such a great way to try to streamline and also put the right information into the hands of newer injectors right off the bat.
100%.
It's just going to make everything safer, not just for the field, but like for patients in general. It's just going to give safer care.
As a business owner and someone who deeply cares about this, like you, Nicole, if someone applies to my office, or if somehow Allergan sends us a lead, like a lead on an injector who's interested in joining the practice, and they've completed a training there, and they're not affiliated with anyone else, and they purchased a ticket, they paid out of their own money, that person 100% wants to be in this field.
Exactly.
And that's the type of person that we want at our office.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But anyway, super, super cool that they're doing this. I mean, Nicole, you can, if me or you go visit there once it's all done, we can actually go. Someone who completes a training there, while you're doing your training, you can find this little station there, and there's a barcode that you can scan. And say you want to open up your practice. Say like you are someone who's experienced, you've been working somewhere, and you go there to complete a training, and you get so inspired that you want to leave there and open up your own practice. You can actually scan a barcode, and all of the materials that are there, like the exam chairs, the countertops, the shelving, like the colors on the wall.
That's so cool.
You can download that, and it can get sent to you. So you can basically form your own treatment room
based off of the way it looks there. That's insane. And it is beautiful. So cool. It's a beautiful, the pictures I've seen, like it's very modern, but still like has that warm touch to it.
There are like multiple treatment rooms, and each treatment room's different. Like
really? I love that.
Themes.
It's almost like a showroom.
No, literally. And I think they do that on purpose. So people can be like, "Ooh, I love the vibe of this room," or this room's, it's just so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. They're going to have like a history wall. So like the history of like Botox, Juvederm, all of that. So they can kind of learn like where it came from, all of the chronological order of like all the FDA approvals. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I know, I'm excited. I think for newer injectors, like we started 7 and 8 years ago. It was nothing like this. You did not have options. You did not have people that you could actually trust teaching you anything, it's really cool that those opportunities are there now.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And then also you mentioned AmSpa, which Nicole, you went last year.
Yeah.
And she influenced me to go this year, and it was incredible. It was really great. I mean, I can't even count on my fingertips how many people were there.
Right.
There was a million. And like you said, Nicole, I did not wear comfortable shoes and the blisters. I have the blisters to show
I warned you. I know I was laughing. I saw you in Olivia's story, and you're like, the blisters on our feet. I'm like, I told them it is so much walking, you guys, because
so much walking.
The win is huge. And to get from your room to where the lectures are, and then where the lectures are, there's so many lectures that they're just everywhere.
So guys, the so AmSpa, which is American Med Spa Association conference, is held at the Wynn. It's a wonderful. I think it's the best hotel in Vegas,
Oh
personally.
yes, 100%.
But yeah, I can't get over how huge it is. Like you're walking nonstop, and if you have to go back to your room, the steps. You're getting the steps in. It's like a half mile there, half a mile back.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least.
But it was really cool.
Pack the Band-Aids. Pack the Band-Aids.
Yeah. I don't know about you, like what you experienced last year, but this year was, I would say, like 50 to 60% like neurotoxin, filler, facial rejuvenation, anatomy, ultrasound, that kind of stuff. The other 50 was like bio-regenerative products. So like,
which makes me so happy. Yep.
Longevity and biohacking, like Dr. K, Beauty by Dr. K.
Yep.
Which we'll have our editor, Joey, highlight her really quick. She did like a full day of, I think she basically like sponsored the day, like or facilitated the day. She started out with one of her lectures, and then she had a bunch of other people that do IV hydration. I think that her name's Dr. Amy Lee. She had Dr. Yurth talk about 1-MNA and NAD, which was extremely popular, which I obviously you guys do it at your practice. We don't do it yet. We will be. I know about it. Didn't know enough about it, but it's truly transformational. And I think my husband's gonna bring it on very soon.
Start offering it. Yeah.
We just got a few vials in, and we're gonna try it ourselves first, which I'm excited about. But it was her, and then they had actually an HRT specialist.
I love that.
A gynecologist come in. I forget her name, and I hate that I forgot, but it was really eye-opening.
Yeah. And I love that because last year, I think there was like one or two, and they were on like peptides. So it was nothing really
they talked about peptides too.
Yeah. So like last year, there wasn't as much wellness, but I feel like as it's growing, there's more people willing to talk about it and willing to present on it. So I'm even excited to see how much more next year.
Yeah. And they talked about GLP-1s, peptides, and how that has affected the face. Like we've heard the terms Ozempic face and all of that. And I hate that term, but it's true. Like anytime anybody loses weight, it shows in the face.
Yep.
But definitely when it's rapid weight loss. And we saw that a lot with the GLP-1s. And it affected a lot of people's face. Also, a topic at the Allergan headquarters visit, Nicole, was GLP-1s and its relationship with skin health and the skin.
Yeah.
And how a lot of, we've heard about hair loss with GLP-1s, and we're not saying this in a negative way, guys, because I'm a firm believer in GLP-1s and what they do.
And
I really do.
Yep.
I have it at my practice, but rapid weight loss with GLP-1s causes hair loss. It can cause malnutrition, and it can cause absorption issues. And
that's why it's so important when you're going on these meds, not to just go through some website because it's $45 a month. You have to be coached. You need to make sure you don't lose too much too quick.
Yeah.
As like you said, you're going to lose your hair. You're going to be malnourished, your vitamin deficiencies, all of that. It plays a role in the hair health, the skin health, the way you look, everything. And the way you feel,
100%. And one of the things that they asked us at the Allergan headquarters, they had one of the head researchers, or I don't know if she was a scientist, but she was in charge of, I believe it was Skin Medica. And she wanted to know, from our standpoint, do consumers and do patients care about the science behind what happens to the skin with rapid weight loss and GLP-1s? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, they do. And, when do you incorporate regenerative products or fillers or Botox or things like that when it comes to, or laser skin treatments, collagen inducing treatments, when you're starting them on a GLP-1. So I thought that was really interesting. And of course they do.
Right. Of course. Absolutely. And it's funny. I have a few patients that I know are on these medications, and I feel like, they've noticed, and I've noticed, that their Botox just doesn't last the same.
And it's Nicole, why do you think that is?
I think it's the speeding up of the metabolism.
Yeah.
So you're breaking down fat quicker, but you're also breaking down these products that we're putting in quicker. And two, again, skin health. I've noticed it more in a lot of my patients that have had a lot of weight loss, or a quick amount of that weight loss. And I think too, that just overall, it plays a role with the nutrition and the skin health and all of that. So between that and the metabolism. I feel like it definitely can eat away at it a little quicker.
Yeah. Well, they lose all the fat pads in the forehead. You know? Yeah. You don't have fat pads in the forehead. You're lacking the structure.
Who's the 1,000-pound sisters? Is that Amy? I was one of the episodes. The sister is like, Amy's so skinny she lost her fat hump in her forehead. So it's true. It's true. You have fat pads everywhere.
And as we age, we get that little divot, like right here in the forehead. And when we're younger, we don't have that as much. We have those fat pads there.
Yep.
And like when we lift, right, as we get older, some of us develop that little comma above our eyebrows, or like we get this little, like, I call it the thong. Like when you like lift, you get this like a line like above like the eyebrows, and like you can go like this and lift, and like and it's hard. Like you have to do like some micro talks there to help soften it. You don't want to
without dropping,
dropping, right? But it's because they're lacking that collagen within the skin or the fat pads to give support to that area. So people that develop that thong line or like the comma line, we want to tell them like, listen. I mean, go to someone that'll do forehead fillers, sure, but go to someone who
knows what they're doing,
and is experienced and does it weekly. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it's not us.
It's not us. I'll gladly tell you.
I stop at the nose.
And I stop not away from the nose.
Everything but not the nose.
I do everything but the nose. Oh my God. But things like microneedling and lasers will stimulate collagen, and that's what will help you there.
Yep. And taking your GLP-1s, that's why I don't want to say appropriately, taking them, I guess, appropriately. Yeah. Like you don't overdo it, and go to someone that's going to really make sure that they're following you every step of the way.
Yeah. I love it. So bottom line, if you're listening in, and say if you're someone who does not go to conferences, and I get it, like, I was talking to Nicole, and Nicole opened up a business. She gets it, but I feel like you did it really well, Nicole. Even though you opened up a business, excuse my French, you're all right. I'll say it, you're crazy, and you still are going to the same amount of conferences the year that you opened up your business.
Yes.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
And that's okay if you can't. But then once you do open up a business, like, dive back into your education, go to 2 to 3 conferences a year, go to a cadaver course a year. Because let me tell you that as the way you meet, you network, you learn from other people, you get inspired, and you have to think outside the box. And that's the only way you're going to grow and evolve.
Yeah. And I feel like networking is honestly almost more important sometimes, because the more friends you have in this field, the more information you're going to see on a daily basis.
So true.
Like Olivia's like my encyclopedia.
Oh my God. Olivia Salmon, if you're listening, and you better be listening. You're not a good friend if you're not. Anyway, she's in London right now. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
She's speaking on Daxify now, right?
Yep. She is,
in London. Yep. I learn all my new things from her.
Oh my God. She's too much. I just love her. But yeah, she is an encyclopedia. Almost like
literally
one of the most like beautifully spoken people.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. But anyway, well, I hope this was helpful to you guys, this episode. This was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. I know we had a lot to talk about, actually. I wasn't sure we were going to be able to ramble this long.
I know. Oh, don't you worry, Nicole. We can always ramble.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you guys have any questions on this episode, shoot us a DM, shoot us an email, whether it's to Nicole or I, and we'll get back to you. Comment on our reels. We love it.
Yes.
We'll respond back. I can't thank you guys enough for your support every single day. I know Nicole hears this from people, but I would say 1 to 2 people a day. Even like new patients will say they watch our episodes, and it just means the world.
Yeah, no, it really does. And if anyone's interested in any of those Allergan affiliate programs that they have at Face Aesthetic Institute, like, you can DM me, but they also are on Instagram. It's face_aesthetic_institute. And like I said, it's just a really great option for new and experienced injectors.
And anyone interested in registering for the new AMI training centers as well, we will include, and I will have our editor include this in here, the little barcode. You can scan it if you're on YouTube, or the info in one of our captions on our Instagram. You can register. And this is for new, like brand new injectors. You've never touched a syringe, right? You're applying places you can't get in, right? That's for you, or experienced injectors as well. It's absolutely incredible. There's like, I think 5 different programs to choose from, but Love.
Yeah. So we'll have our producer Joey throw that link in. He'll put it in the description too.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. So it'll be easy for them to find, because I know not everyone watches this on YouTube. So
yeah, I know.
We'll try to put it in the description.
Sounds good.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Film Me In podcast. We love you guys. Till next week.
Bye.